The dusty patrol road stretched like a digital ribbon across the metallic landscape of New Terra's outer colony. Patrol Officer J. Park's sleek enforcement hover vehicle hummed quietly, its electric systems perfectly calibrated for the harsh, desert-like terrain of this recently terraformed world. Jay had been working this sector for 3 standard cycles, and today felt different. The twin suns of the Proxima system cast long shadows across the rocky landscapes, creating an eerie blend of silver and copper hues that made distant rock formations look like sleeping giants. His communication system crackled with routine transmissions, standard colony check-ins, resource allocation reports, and occasional wildlife movement tracking. Most days were monotonous, filled with nothing more than ensuring colonist safety and maintaining territorial boundaries. Today's patrol route covered the critical mineral extraction zones where rare earth elements were harvested. These zones were crucial for humanity's expanding galactic infrastructure. Each mineral cluster was worth millions, and protecting these resources was his primary responsibility. Suddenly, his vehicle's advanced sensor system pinged an unusual energy signature. A sleek government transport was approaching from the western quadrant, moving faster than standard regulation protocols. Jay's training kicked in immediately. The vehicle's design was unique, not standard government issue. Its surface seemed to shimmer and adapt to the surrounding terrain, almost like a living organism. Such technology was rarely seen outside high-level administrative circles. As the vehicle approached, Jay noticed something extraordinary. The transport's exterior seemed to be constructed from a metamaterial that could potentially bend light, making it nearly invisible under certain atmospheric conditions. This wasn't just a transport, this was a specialized machine. His hand instinctively moved toward his standard-issue plasma restrainer, a non-lethal weapon designed to immobilize potential threats without causing permanent damage. Years of training had taught him to be cautious, but measured. The incoming vehicle slowed, its anti-gravity systems creating a subtle hum that resonated with the surrounding rocky terrain. Jay could now see the driver, a woman with sharp, calculating eyes that seemed to scan multiple spectrums simultaneously. Her appearance was professional, crisp uniform, minimal accessories, and a posture that suggested military or high-level administrative training. Something about her suggested she was far more than an ordinary government employee. The vehicle came to a perfect stop, its systems integrating seamlessly with the surrounding environment. No dust was disturbed, no unnecessary energy was expended, a mark of extremely advanced engineering. Jay approached, his standard procedure checklist running through his mind. Check identification, verify travel authorization, confirm cargo manifest, and ensure no potential security breaches. Just another day in colonial law enforcement. Little did he know that this seemingly routine traffic interaction would become a moment that would fundamentally challenge everything he understood about his role, his institution, and himself. The woman in the vehicle watched him approach, her eyes reflecting not just the twin suns, but something deeper, a knowledge that suggested she was several strategic moves ahead in a complex game he was only beginning to understand. As Jay reached the vehicle's window, the stage was set for an encounter that would redefine his understanding of justice, power, and the complex social structures governing humanity's most ambitious interstellar expansion. The colony's distant mining facilities continued their rhythmic extraction processes, unaware that a small interaction on this lonely stretch of road would soon ripple through entire administrative systems, challenging long-established power dynamics. Quantum communication systems hummed in the background, carrying millions of data packets across light years, while this singular moment of human interaction was about to unfold, a testament to the unpredictable nature of individual human connections. Patrol Sector 7, New Terra Outer Colony, Stellar Date, 2347-6 of the tension crackled like static electricity between Jay and the woman in the vehicle. His standard-issue communication badge flickered, displaying basic identification protocols while scanning her vehicle's unique quantum signature. "Documentation," Jay demanded, his voice carrying the practiced tone of countless routine traffic checks. But something felt different this time. The vehicle's exterior seemed to subtly adjust its molecular structure, almost breathing with an intelligent response. The woman, Yun Kim, remained perfectly composed. Her hands moved with calculated precision, retrieving a digital credentials pack that looked more like a living holographic membrane than traditional documentation. Each movement suggested military-grade training. Around them, New Terra's landscape stretched, a harsh ecosystem of metallic rock formations and distant automated mining platforms. Robotic extraction units worked tirelessly in the background, their massive frames moving with synchronized efficiency. Jay's scanning device struggled momentarily with her credentials. The holographic interface flickered, displaying fragmented information that seemed to dance between different authorization levels. High-level clearance markers flashed rapidly. Government, military, something beyond standard classification. "Step out of the vehicle," Jay commanded, his hand subtly moving closer to his restraint system. Years of colonial patrol had taught him to be cautious, especially with unfamiliar transport signatures. Yoon's eyes met his, not with defiance but with a calm, almost amused assessment. Her gaze carried weight, the kind that suggested she had witnessed conflicts far more complex than a simple roadside interaction. The surrounding environment seemed to pause. Distant robotic mining units momentarily synchronized their movements, as if waiting for this human interaction to resolve. Wind carried microscopic metallic dust, creating a shimmering backdrop to their confrontation. Jay's communication badge suddenly received multiple encrypted signals. Quantum communication layers attempted to validate Yoon's credentials, but the system seemed overwhelmed by the complexity of her authorization levels. "Is there a problem, officer?" Yoon's voice was smooth, professional, carrying an undertone that suggested she was used to navigating complex bureaucratic landscapes. Her vehicle's exterior continued its subtle molecular adaptation, now mimicking the surrounding rock formations so perfectly that it was becoming nearly invisible. Advanced camouflage technology that spoke of resources far beyond standard government issue. Jay's training conflicted with his intuition. Protocol demanded a thorough check, but something in Yoon's demeanor suggested attempting to obstruct her. Movement would be a monumentally bad decision. Robotic surveillance drones hovered discreetly in the background, their advanced sensors tracking every microscopic detail of the interaction. Quantum communication networks processed millions of data packets, recording this seemingly mundane encounter. The twin suns of the Proxima system cast long shadows, creating an almost theatrical lighting across the rocky terrain. Distant, automated. Mining platforms continued their rhythmic extraction processes, indifferent to the human drama unfolding. Yoon remained seated, her hands visible, her posture suggesting absolute control. Not a hint of aggression, but a calm, calculated presence that seemed to challenge Jay's entire understanding of authority. His scanning device blinked rapidly, struggling to process her credentials. Encrypted layers of information danced across. The holographic interface, government clearance, multiple interdepartmental authorizations, access levels that seemed to transcend standard classification. The moment stretched, a perfect tension between routine bureaucratic procedure and something far more complex. A single interaction that carried potential consequences far beyond this isolated stretch of colonial road. Jay's world was about to change, though he didn't know it yet. This was more than a traffic stop. This was a moment that would challenge everything he understood about power, authority, and the complex social structures governing humanity's most ambitious interstellar expansion. Patrol Sector 7, New Terra. Outer Colony, stellar date 2347 Poix. The scanning device in Jay's hand suddenly erupted with a cascade of holographic data, transforming the entire atmosphere of the isolated colonial road. Layers of classified information burst into existence, each pixel revealing fragments of an extraordinary narrative. Yoon's credentials weren't just government documents, they represented something far more complex, a quantum-encrypted authorization that connected directly to the highest levels of interstellar administrative control. Her profile suggested she wasn't merely an employee, but a critical component of a system far more intricate than Jay could comprehend. Quantum communication nodes surrounding the area began synchronizing, creating a subtle electromagnetic field. That seemed to pulse with anticipation. Robotic surveillance units adjusted their positioning, their advanced sensors capturing every microscopic detail of this unexpected interaction. The vehicle's exterior continued its remarkable molecular adaptation, now perfectly mirroring the surrounding rocky terrain. Its surface became almost indistinguishable from the metallic landscape, a technological marvel that suggested resources beyond conventional understanding. "Interesting scan," Yoon remarked casually, her voice carrying a tone that balanced professional courtesy with an underlying current of strategic precision. "I assume you're completing standard procedural checks." Jay's hands trembled slightly. The credentials before him represented clearance levels he had never encountered in his 7 years. Of Colonial Patrol. Multiple interdepartmental authorizations flickered, each layer revealing a more complex administrative network. Distant automated mining platforms continued their rhythmic operations, massive robotic arms extracting rare mineral compounds with mechanical precision. They seemed oblivious to the extraordinary human drama unfolding on this isolated stretch of road. The quantum-encrypted profile revealed Yoon wasn't just an administrator. She was the chief investigator of interstellar institutional oversight, a position that carried authority capable of dismantling entire administrative structures with a single directive. Her background suggested decades of strategic navigation through complex bureaucratic landscapes. Multiple commendations, classified mission reports, and intervention protocols painted a picture of someone who operated at the highest levels of institutional management. Jay's communication badge began receiving parallel encrypted transmissions. Quantum communication layers started validating her credentials, each verification adding another layer of complexity to an already extraordinary situation. The twin suns of the Proxima system cast long, dramatic shadows across the terrain. Wind carried microscopic metallic dust, creating a shimmering backdrop that seemed to reflect the tension of this unexpected encounter. "Your authorization exceeds standard government clearance by multiple classification levels," Jay stammered, his professional composure rapidly disintegrating. "I've never encountered a profile like this in 7 years of Colonial Patrol." Yoon's smile was subtle, a calculated expression that suggested she had navigated hundreds of similar interactions. Her hands remained perfectly positioned, her body, language communicating absolute control without a hint of aggression. Robotic surveillance drones hovering nearby adjusted their positioning, their advanced sensors capturing every nuanced moment of this extraordinary interaction. Quantum networks processed millions of data packets, recording a moment that would potentially redefine institutional dynamics. The vehicle's molecular camouflage continued its remarkable adaptation, now so perfectly integrated with the surrounding landscape that it appeared almost magical. Technology that suggested resources far beyond conventional understanding. "Routine checks are important," Yoon mentioned casually, "but sometimes they reveal more than initial expectations suggest." "Wouldn't you agree, officer?" Her words carried multiple layers of meaning, a strategic communication that suggested this wasn't just a random traffic interaction, but a carefully orchestrated moment with potential far-reaching consequences. Jay's entire understanding of his role, his institution, and the complex social structures governing humanity's interstellar expansion was about to be fundamentally challenged. One simple traffic stop was transforming into something extraordinary. The stage was set for a revelation that would challenge everything he understood about power, authority, and the intricate human systems governing their ambitious galactic civilization. Patrol Sector 7, New Terra Outer Colony, stellar date 2347.6. The aftermath of the roadside encounter cascaded through New Terra's administrative networks like a quantum shockwave. Yoon's decision wasn't about punishment, but systematic institutional transformation. Jay found himself summoned to the Central Oversight Complex, a massive architectural marvel that seemed to defy traditional engineering principles. Holographics. Interfaces dominated massive chambers, where robotic administrative assistants processed complex human behavior algorithms. His service record became a living document, every interaction, every decision digitally dissected. Advanced neural analysis systems tracked his psychological patterns, revealing deep-rooted behavioral mechanisms that had developed through years of colonial enforcement. The complex utilized cutting-edge psychological reconstruction technologies. Immersive simulation chambers would replay Jay's professional interactions, allowing him to experience his past behaviors from multiple perspectives: victim, observer, and perpetrator. Quantum empathy modules, advanced technological systems designed to enhance emotional intelligence, became his primary rehabilitation tool. These weren't simple training programs, but intricate neural network reconstructions that could simulate complex human emotional landscapes. Robotic counseling units, designed with advanced emotional intelligence algorithms, guided Jay through intensive self-reflection processes. Each session peeled back layers of institutional conditioning, revealing the human beneath the uniform. Interdepartmental workshops became his new reality. Here, professionals from diverse backgrounds shared experiences, challenging traditional power structures and exploring more equitable institutional frameworks. Colonists, administrators, enforcement officers all became participants in a profound systemic dialogue. The rehabilitation wasn't punitive, but transformative. Advanced learning algorithms customized each intervention, understanding that human growth requires personalized, nuanced approaches. Holographic scenario generators created immersive environments where Jay could practice alternative response mechanisms. These weren't simple training simulations, but complex psychological reconstruction spaces that challenged his fundamental understanding of authority and human interaction. Yoon's approach was strategic. She understood that institutional change didn't happen through punishment, but through comprehensive, empathetic reconstruction of individual and collective consciousness. Automated learning platforms tracked his progress, creating detailed psychological profiles that mapped his emotional and professional transformation. Each breakthrough was carefully documented, becoming potential guidance for future institutional evolution. Advanced communication networks monitored his interactions, providing real-time feedback and suggestions. Quantum analysis systems could predict potential behavioral regressions, allowing immediate supportive interventions. The rehabilitation process integrated technological innovation with profound human understanding. It wasn't about breaking Jay, but helping him rebuild himself with greater awareness, empathy, and professional integrity. Robotic mentorship units, programmed with advanced emotional intelligence, guided him through complex psychological reconstructions. These weren't mechanical instructions, but nuanced interactions designed to trigger genuine self-reflection. Interdepartmental cultural exchange programs became a critical component of his transformation. He interacted with professionals from diverse planetary colonies, understanding systemic biases through shared human experiences. Immersive historical simulations showed him the long-term consequences of institutional discrimination. These weren't theoretical lectures, but lived experiences that allowed deep emotional understanding of systemic challenges. The Central Oversight Complex became a living, breathing ecosystem of human potential. Technology and empathy merged, creating a platform for genuine institutional evolution. Jay's journey was more than personal rehabilitation. It represented a broader narrative of human potential, the capacity to recognize, understand, and transform systemic limitations through compassion and strategic intervention. Every interaction, every simulation, every moment of reflection became a step towards a more equitable, understanding institutional framework. Technology became a tool for human growth, not control. The transformation had begun, not through punishment, but through the most powerful human capacity, the ability to learn, grow, and fundamentally reimagine ourselves and our systems. Institutional Rehabilitation Center, New Terra Administrative. Complex Stellar Date, 2347. The first rays of Proxima's twin suns crept across New Terra's horizon, symbolizing Jay's internal rebirth. His transformation wasn't just professional, it was profoundly personal. Quantum empathy modules had done more than reconstruct his professional perspective. They had fundamentally rewired his understanding of human connection. Each simulation, each interactive experience, peeled back layers of institutional conditioning that had accumulated over years of colonial enforcement. Community engagement became his new mission. Instead of patrolling with rigid enforcement protocols, Jay started developing comprehensive social integration programs. He worked directly with colonist communities, understanding their unique challenges and cultural dynamics. Advanced holographic communication platforms allowed him to connect with diverse planetary settlements. He listened to stories from miners, terraforming engineers, medical researchers, each narrative expanding his understanding of human complexity. Robotic assistance units helped him design innovative community support systems. These weren't simple administrative programs, but intricate networks that addressed systemic inequalities through compassionate, strategic interventions. His rehabilitation journey transformed him from a traditional enforcement officer into a social reconstruction specialist. Technology became a tool for understanding, not controlling human experiences. Interdepartmental workshops became his new classroom. He learned about cultural anthropology, advanced psychological reconstruction, techniques, and innovative social integration strategies. Each session challenged his previous understanding of institutional dynamics. The Central Oversight Complex monitored his progress not as a punitive measure, but as a collaborative growth process. Quantum analysis systems tracked his emotional and professional evolution, providing supportive interventions when needed. Jay developed specialized training modules for other enforcement professionals. These programs focused on emotional intelligence, cultural sensitivity, and comprehensive community understanding. He became a catalyst for institutional transformation. Advanced neural mapping technologies helped him understand the root of his previous behavioral patterns. Immersive simulation chambers allowed him to experience his past interactions from multiple perspectives: victim, observer, perpetrator. Robotic mentorship units guided him through complex psychological reconstructions. They weren't mechanical instructors, but sophisticated emotional intelligence platforms designed to trigger genuine self-reflection. His personal relationships underwent remarkable transformation. Family connections he had previously neglected were rebuilt through advanced communication technologies and emotional reconstruction techniques. Collaborative planetary development became his new passion. He worked on projects that bridged technological innovation with human-centric social development. Each initiative challenged traditional institutional frameworks. Quantum communication networks allowed him to share his transformation story across multiple colonial settlements. His journey became a beacon of hope, demonstrating humanity's capacity for genuine personal and institutional growth. The immersive rehabilitation process had done more than correct his professional behavior. It had awakened a profound understanding of human potential, institutional complexity, and the power of genuine empathy. Advanced learning algorithms continued to support his growth, providing personalized guidance and support. These weren't simple training programs, but complex psychological reconstruction platforms that understood human complexity. Jay's transformation represented something larger than personal change. It was a testament to humanity's capacity to recognize systemic limitations and create more equitable, compassionate institutional frameworks. Robotic administrative assistants documented his journey, creating comprehensive case studies that would guide future institutional rehabilitation efforts. His experience became a blueprint for systemic transformation. The colonial landscape around him continued to evolve. Massive terraforming projects, advanced robotic infrastructure, diverse human settlements working in intricate harmony. He was now an integral part of this complex, dynamic ecosystem. Technology and human potential merged in his journey. What began as a simple traffic stop had transformed into a profound narrative of personal and institutional growth. Yoon's strategic intervention had done more than correct a single officer's behavior. It had triggered a comprehensive reimagining of institutional dynamics, demonstrating the true potential of compassionate, technology-enhanced human development. The sun set on New Terra, casting long shadows across the evolving colonial landscape. A perfect metaphor for Jay's remarkable transformation. Community Integration Center, New Terra Colonial Settlement, stellar date 2348.